I just got excited thinking that I could do it all at the same time. Let's not mess up the tech people. I need to talk about Tina Thrussell. She's going to be our speaker next week. So our next week's speaker on August 30th is our own Tina Thrussell. And she is going to be talking about what is, as our theme for this month is all about acceptance, accepting things how they are. And of course, after our time together and our speaker today, we'll be having Coffee Zoom. So we invite you to join us for Coffee Zoom. You can get the link out of the newsletter or on our website, and you just have to click in, and on you'll come in and be able to talk about today's speaker, as well as share information with each other about our lives as we stay connected. We also have a class coming up this fall, and Reverend Pat Ball is going to be offering a class. It's one of our spiritual enrichment classes, and it is called Self-Awareness. And this is a great class. You'll really enjoy it. And what's exciting about this class this time, there we go, there's our slide, is because it's going to be online, we're going to be connecting with people across the country. So everybody will come in on their own different time zones into Zoom. And then we'll do little breakout groups where we can discuss things. So rather than it just being Unity of Calgary people, it will be people from across the country. So this should be a really fun experience. You'll see some of the people you maybe know from conference. And that's going to begin on September 16th, Wednesday evenings at 6 o'clock. So the Zoom link and all that information will be going out. So mark it on your calendar as something to do this fall as we come together to strengthen our knowledge of spiritual things and our awareness of ourselves. And now I'll tell you our exciting news. As I think our slides have caught up, we're actually going to be able to head indoors at Willow Ridge. How exciting. Our board and spiritual leadership team met a week or so ago and talked about what we would need to do to come back together in person. We sent out a survey, and on that survey, 66% of you said you were ready to come back. And so we're setting up committees to work at keeping everybody safe and spaced out properly. And we'll be needing some support with that coming up, but that will all unfold. So our first Sunday back will be October 18th. So the week after Thanksgiving, we'll have so much to be thankful for. And information will be coming out about how we manage that, but we will be preparing and getting our home ready. And many people are working behind the scenes to get us settled in Willow Ridge. A very big thank you out to Ariana and Claude, who have been organizing the office. Cher has been there as well. There's lots of work to be done as we get settled in. Okay, well, that's great. And as you know, you can stay connected to us through our newsletter is the very best way to do that. It's with our update information on what's happening, and especially with all this new things coming ahead. So, all right, well, very good. Well, now we're going to go to some music, and we need the power of prayer here that the music will come in clear this time. So let's have okay. You know Well, I guess we didn't pray hard enough. This proves we can't control everything, though it would be nice to control the sound on the music. But soon we'll be back to live music. So we apologize, realizing that that's not very peaceful to listen to. But guess what? It's going to get better because now we get to listen to Janice Butler. And any of you who have heard Janice speak before, you know that we are in for a treat, as Janice is a wonderful speaker. And we are so looking forward to what she's going to say today. She's going to be talking about the hidden gift of resistance. And she's going to be talking about whether is resistance ever helpful? Yeah, what do you think, Janice? I think so. Janice is a passionate leader. She's been involved in so many different aspects of life. She does live theater with seniors. She runs workshops. And the thing for Janice is that she believes that people are whole and complete, and that she helps people move forward in their lives through challenging situations into that place of love and empowerment. And I have seen Janice at work before, and we know that this morning she's going to have some great insights for us on how to perhaps look at resistance a little different. Please welcome our lovely Janice Butler.
Good morning, Katie, and good morning, everyone. And I'm just breathing in and really feeling all of your essences, and it's really beautiful to be here and to share with you. It's interesting in this changing world how resistance seems to be coming up for all people on all sides. Resistance to what's happening, resistance to wearing a mask, resistance to not wearing a mask, and on and on. You know, and when Katie first mentioned this topic to me, I thought, oh, resistance. I've had a long and interesting journey with this. And, you know, I've come to see it as such a beautiful messenger for me, such an indicator of what's happening inside of me. And I do see it as very helpful. I see it as a gift to give me information about what's happening in my inner world. So, you know, sometimes I think we think of resistance like we think of emotions. And we often categorize them as good or bad. And I've long ago learned that that's not true. All emotions are just energy, and they're all just indicators about what's happening inside of us. And I think that our path to enlightenment is really about becoming more and more conscious about our own inner tapestry. And so resistance is well woven into most of our beautiful inner tapestries. And, you know, I began to contemplate, what is it that resistance has done for me? What are the gifts of resistance? And I know Katie was a little surprised when I mentioned that resistance was a gift. But I really, truly believe that. So for me, resistance has shown me the things that I'm afraid of. Because sometimes when I'm resistant, it's because I'm afraid to move into something that I know is really going to be good for me. And so when the resistance shows up, I get this message about the importance of something or the significance of moving forward. You know, also resistance has shown me the places where I have unhealed wounding. Because sometimes I can be resistant, and it's not even about the present moment. It's a reaction that's coming from a piece of myself that has some unhealed wounding. And so if I'm willing, and you're going to hear this over and over today, if I'm willing to sit and befriend that resistance and go beyond it to the deeper layers where I can find the woundedness. I can hold this compassionate space of love for myself, and I can begin to heal those places. Sometimes resistance shows us where we need boundaries, where we need to say no, or where we need to say yes. And mostly, I think the lesson of resistance for me has been about slowing down, not pushing myself. I've become so aware of how much bullying I do of myself and how much I will push through resistance. And then it doesn't feel good. And I've learned that breathing, slowing down, taking the time to just give my resistance a voice actually leads me to insights about myself that are really beautiful. So I can learn to trust my own inner feelings, my own inner resistance, and I become more conscious and more aware of who I am. What if when resistance showed up, instead of saying, I mustn't feel resistance, I mustn't feel resistance, I must push through the resistance, we just allowed, we just sat with curiosity, with compassion, and we could hear those underlying messages. The old expression, what you resist persists, and sometimes it's about a life lesson, sometimes it's about a feeling, sometimes it's about a message from the divine. We can get a message and we can resist that. And what we resist will persist. And I always loved Wayne Dyer's quote that whatever we are for strengthens us, but what we are against weakens us. And resistance is actually against something. Sometimes it's against a truth we need to know. Sometimes it's against a person that we need to have boundaries with. Sometimes it's against ourselves. And as I just said, sometimes it's against our divine source coming through us and giving us a message. So resistance is important. It's a message for us. One of my favorite quotes comes from the AA Big Book. And acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I am disturbed, it is because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact of my life, unacceptable to me. And I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, or thing, or situation as being exactly the way it's supposed to be in this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world around me as on what needs to be changed in me and my attitudes. And as I said, AA Big Book. We can't talk about resistance without talking about the big C, which is control. And I think in some cases, resistance is really about control. And it's about that trying to control everything and everyone around us and resisting all the things that want to flow in. I once had this vision. I was praying on my way to work, and I had this visual of all the beautiful things that God wanted to gift me with. And I saw my own resistance to them. I saw that I wasn't open and willing to receive them. And that was resistance. And I realized that all I had to do was make a choice. So back to control. In the past, I may have tried to control my resistance. I may have tried to control my emotions. I probably tried to control other people. And really, most importantly, I've tried really hard to control myself. We do this so that we can feel safe in the world. And we're not bad. It's just something that we all have been conditioned to do and learned to do. I love this quote by Adashante from his book, Emptiness Dancing. And listen carefully because it's quite the challenge. What if you let go of every bit of control and every urge that you have, right down to the most infinitesimal urge to control anything, anywhere, including anything that may be happening with you at this moment? Imagine that you were able to completely and absolutely give up control, totally, completely. Then you would be spiritually free. Many people say that when you dig deep into the deepest level of human emotional makeup, the primary emotion that keeps human beings separate is fear. I found that not to be true. I find the core issue that keeps humans expressing themselves as separate is the desire and the will to control. Fear arises when you think you have no control, or you become afraid when you realize you have no control, but you haven't yet given up your desire for control. So control for me isn't about not feeling resistance and not feeling my feelings. It's about taking 100% responsibility, not projecting that outward and trying to control the things around me, the people around me, the situation, so that I can feel safe. It's about me honoring my own emotions, my own resistance, my own fear, and then allowing myself the time and space to feel my feelings. That's really how we become more conscious and more aware. Last year, my friend was offering this course, this art, painting your goddess, your inner goddess. And the last time I spoke at Unity, I spoke about creativity. And I shared with you that I haven't seen myself as a creative person. And so I've never been much for painting or those kinds of creation. I acknowledge I create in many ways, including my big musical theater productions. But when it comes to visual arts, I've steered clear from that. And as a lot of us have, I probably have some woundedness from my childhood around not being good enough. So my friend was going to offer this course on painting your inner goddess. And I thought I should go. And I had a myriad of reasons. I should go to support my friend. And then once I committed, I should go because I have now committed. And then I should go because it will be good for me. And I should go because I'm afraid of this, and on and on and on. What I didn't do was check in and breathe and see if it was actually in my best and highest good to go. So I plodded along, forcing myself to pay the money for the workshop, forcing myself to prepare. And about a couple days before, I really hurt my ankle. And I was having a lot of issues with standing. And we were going to be standing. And it was like 35 above in her backyard, standing for 3 days painting. But you know what? This is a case of me bullying myself and not really checking in. I pushed myself through. I resisted listening to my own inner guidance, and I just did it anyway. Well, the first evening, I came home so sore and so miserable. But I wasn't going to let my friend down, and I was not going to keep my commitment. The next morning, my little Winston was very ill, and my husband wasn't here, and so he was really ill, and I thought I gotta attend to him. And so then I was torn. But when it came to taking care of someone else, I knew that I had to do that. And so I was able to say to my friend, I'm not going to attend today because Winston is really ill and I need to get him to the vet. After all of that was taken care of and I sat and I contemplated, I was able to reflect on, how I wouldn't have even heard the message if it came, because I was just determined of my own bossiness to attend this workshop. And I recognize that a lot of times I've done this to myself, not allowing myself to feel my resistance and honor that, because perhaps this isn't the right thing for me. Carl Jung said, emotion is the chief source of all our becoming, all our consciousness raising. There can be no transforming of darkness into light or of apathy into movement without feeling our emotions. I thought that was really interesting, moving apathy into movement, unless we can feel our feelings. And resistance is a part of that. So I think it's just about being okay with. It's about accepting, as I said in that earlier quote, accepting whatever rises. As Matt Kahn, if you listen to Matt Kahn, I love that. He always says, love whatever shows up. Love whatever rises in us. Meet it with compassion, because there's a reason that it shows up, and it's nothing to do with us being bad or unenlightened or off track. It's just to do with our wounded pieces. And I also thought this is kind of interesting that resistance training is a very popular thing right now. And I've done some resistance training, and I kind of like that feeling as you're resisting with the bands of how strong you feel and how you can really get in touch with your own strength and your own limits. And I think resistance, as it shows up sort of from an emotional, psychological perspective, is very much like this. It's like, explore with it. Isn't it fun to explore with those rubber bands and to kind of play with them and to see, how far you can go, where's your limits, where you could grow, where you could get stronger? I just thought that was kind of an interesting analogy. My last story about resistance is about my mom. Who's been passed for like 25 or 30 years. But I loved her dearly. And she had breast cancer, and she was ill for, quite a few years. And she had a lot of the traditional treatment. And the last time that I actually spoke to my mom in the flesh, I went to the Foothills Hospital to sit with her. And my mom would always ask me to pray. She was a woman of great faith, except she didn't have faith in herself as much as she did in me. And I said to her, Mom, you can pray for yourself. And she said, yes, I know, but I just want you to pray for me. And she said what she wanted me to pray for was that all of this would be over, that, she could be done with all these treatments and all these medical interventions. And so I did pray for her. And after, as we were chatting, I said to her, Mom, you know that you can surrender and that this is your choice, and you can say no to any of these treatments. Because of, who she was and where she came from, she didn't really see that. She said that she had to do what the doctor told her, and that was, that. I left there and contemplated that quite a lot, and I actually found it a little sad that she didn't recognize she actually had some choices and she could be her own advocate. But it was only a couple of days later, I got a phone call early at 6 a.m. actually from my sister saying that my mom had passed, I could feel her presence instantly. And I said to her, Mom, you finally made a choice on your own behalf. And I could feel that that was her way of surrendering. You know, I hope we don't have to come to that dire of a decision. But I hope that we can learn to meet our resistance with such compassion that we gain a deeper understanding of who we are, and that we heal ourselves in those places where the resistance is there to protect us and to keep us safe. It really is my prayer that we can know ourselves. But more than that, it's truly my prayer that we can know the God source that we are, that we can feel within us the loving flow of life that is never ending. I often think, and have been told actually, my purpose on this planet is to share with you the God as I understand. And this is how I understand it, that you and I share this beautiful life force of love, and that no matter what comes at us, we can love our way through it by being compassionate, introspective, and kind to ourselves. Thank you, and God bless. So we're just going to move into meditation now. And the band, I'm reading the side notes. I guess we're not going to have music, so that's okay. I'll just move you into meditation. So please just close your eyes. Take some nice deep breaths and soften. Soften your body. And as you breathe, become aware of any places that are resistant, any places where you're holding tension, tightness, bitterness, old wounds. And just breathe in. And just be open to seeing and to feeling all that there is within you. And just do several deep breaths as you explore, soften. Be particularly aware of the places where you are holding tension. And just take your breath to that place. The breath of God. And breathe into those tight, resistant places. I breathe in love. I breathe in God. And just give yourself the compassion you would give a friend or a child if they came to you with anything that was concerning them. Just open your hearts to yourselves. Open your hearts to the places where you've had to hold yourself against anything. Open yourself to the places where you've been mean to yourself and bullied yourself. And just allow love in. The love is abundant. The love is ever present. And it only wants to hold you tenderly, lovingly, softly. Breathing in that beautiful, soft love. I move into the flow of ease. I move into the flow of ease and grace by accepting and surrendering to my resistance. I trust that all is well. I trust that love will never abandon me. And I trust that I am always safe in the arms of God. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. God bless. I surrender. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love.
I guess I'm supposed to practice accepting the music. I'm having a little resistance. But Janice, that was the clearest I've ever heard anyone speak about resistance. And I have had that experience where if I sit with what's going on, I can feel the underlying emotion, and it has been very helpful. And it's a great reminder. And thank you for sharing it in so much um, detail and giving examples, because I think sometimes we can say, yes, yes, I understand that. But it's when we get those personal examples that it really takes the message a little deeper. And I'm very grateful for you sharing with that this morning, as I'm sure the community is. And guess what? In September, Janice is actually going to be one of our service coordinators. So you get more of Janice coming up. So let's now move into the time of giving and receiving. We know that what we share in our community, our online presence, and very soon our gathering together is making a difference in people's lives. We're seeing people grow and change in ways that they attribute to our community. And we know that being a force for love at this time is one of the greatest things that we can offer. And so we appreciate the fact that you're contributing to this so that we continue to be a presence for love and for helping people deepen their own inner strength. So thank you for your contributions, and knowing that you can donate online. Ariana's putting it up there. Donate at unityofcalgary.org is probably the easiest way to do it. And you can do that by e-transfer there. And you can also send a check into our address or whatever it is that is easiest for you. But please know that what you're sharing is making a difference, and we look forward to being together so we can really enjoy the bounty of what we're sharing together. So knowing that what we think about increases, let's take our offering. So it may be symbolic right now, but I want you to just hold it in your hand or hold it to your heart as we affirm together our abundance affirmation. All right, let's see if you can all remember it. So we say it together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And then we'll also do our blessing for the children and our own inner children that are forever struggling to learn how to do just what Janice was talking about. We love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. And I want to just take a little time for some prayer. We know that as one of the most powerful things that we can do for our own well-being and for other people's well-being. So I'd like you actually to take a moment here to think about something that you would like to add your energy to, that you would like to support with the power of prayer. So let's just take a moment, bring a person, a place, a situation to mind, and we'll just take a silent moment as we bring that up into our hearts and raise it up into the higher vibration of love. And it is from this higher place of love and vibration that I'll share with the community here that our precious Maureen Clancy made her transition yesterday about 10:30 in the morning. And she was surrounded by Aaron and the rest of her family. It was very peaceful. And there was a deep sense of peace and serenity in the room. I could feel that in the text that Aaron sent. And they're very thankful for all the love, support that was sent to them during this time. And yesterday I was filled with, tears when I first heard. But I'm moving more into peace because I think it's a lot what Janice said about her mom, actually. that Maureen did many forms of treatment for her esophageal cancer and fought hard to stay for her family and friends. And then it became clear that it was time for her to let go and to move into the next experience for her soul. And we honor her as she makes this transition, and our love surrounds Erin and their family, as it's hard for us people, us humans, to lose our special loved ones. There will be a service, a small gathering for Maureen, we hope, at our new space on Thursday, and we'll stay tuned for some information about that. Because of restrictions, it won't be open to everyone, I'm afraid, but we can join in through prayer. We hope the timing should be at 7 p.m. on Thursday evening. And so we can join in prayer for this very special time as that unfolds. And we're grateful. And of course, our love goes to Erin and our support to her. So, let that be so. Let that be so. And love is greatest gift we can give to everyone at this time. And I'm sure those on the other side are going to be delighted to have Maureen, for she is a treasure. And I just wanted to add that she's also who found our spiritual home for us. She was the one who found Willow Ridge. She was on the committee, and it was through her intuition that we were connected up with Willow Ridge. So it seems befitting in some way that she will be, the first service will be for her. All right, very good. I can do this. We also always pray for other unities who are bringing this message of empowerment and love. This month it is Unity Center of Truth in Etobicoke and Unity Center of Winnipeg. So we know that they are bringing the same love and light that we are. So let's join together now with our prayer of protection. And together we will affirm, the light that is God surrounds me. I am one with the light. The love that is God enfolds me. I am one with the love. The power that is God protects me. I am one with the power. The presence that is God watches over me. I am one with the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Amen. All right, so as we embrace that, as we hold that, I'm not sure, I'm just looking to see whether the sound people think that we should try our last song, or if we are just going to throw in the sponge on that. Ariana, can you give me an indication? Are we going to try A Light is the World, or are we just going to complete for today? I'll just wait for her to see. They want to try that one more time. It's a great song when you can hear it. And of course, we would love you to join us on Zoom, Zoom link. Janice will be there, and so you can chat with her about the talk. So let me, okay, well, you know what? They're saying that I should decide, and I have a feeling that it's not going to be any better than it's been. So do you guys just want to join and let the peace, how do you say that? I can't see the word now. Oh, a cappella, there's the word. I don't know if we can or not. I don't know whether I'm brave enough to lead that with you. I think maybe what we'll do is we'll stop resisting what is, and we'll accept the fact that the music is not running properly this morning. And our tech people are hard at it. As you can imagine, it was a little stressful them this morning to have it not working. So why don't we actually, just before we stop today, let's send our love to our tech team, because you can imagine that they're feeling a little sad that they weren't able to deliver the way that they wanted to. And so let's let them know that we love you, we bless you, and we do accept you just the way you are. When the music works, when the music doesn't work, we're still so grateful for the time and the energy that you put into doing this each and every Sunday. And it was very brave of you to be doing it without Neil and Tina, who are the experts. So thank you, thank you. And let's just surrender into the end of today by just letting there be peace by not having the music be kind of scratchy. So enjoy your week, everyone. We look forward to being with you next week when we have Tina Thrussell sharing with us. Please join us on Zoom. It's very simple. If you don't have a computer, you can also use the phone number to get on. You can just phone in. I know Karen has done that before. And so blessings to you all. A big thank you to Janice, to our tech team. And let's go into the world and be the light. Be the light that you are. Even when you don't feel that radiant, even when you may be feeling a bit off, know that your presence makes a difference, because when we're genuine with what we're feeling and how we are, it gives other people permission to be themselves. So when I say be the light, it doesn't mean you have to be perfect and radiant. I mean, be your authentic self. For all of you is worthy of love. So thank you from my deep heart, from spiritual leadership. Go into the world, and so it is.